Hi, welcome to the Flynns Carlow TV review of the Nissan Micra. Nissan have a fantastic heritage in the small car market in particular, and this Micra follows on from that excellent heritage. This particular model was introduced to the Irish market for January 2011 and comes with a number of different variations. The engine size is 1.2 petrol. There's no need for diesel. It's 80 brake horsepower, and that tells you straight away what was my first surprise about this vehicle. The first surprise I had was that when you get into it and you expect it to be small car performance, it just isn't. The 80 brake horsepower in the 5-speed gearbox means you have the flexibility to be able to get out, get past something and get back in, and to do all of that safely. So you don't feel like you're driving a small car. Similarly, in terms of how the vehicle drives and corners, it drives much, much better than I originally expected. You have a number of safety features which are of great value, certainly to me. Firstly, you have ABS, anti-lock braking. Allied to that, you have ESP, which is Electronic Stability Program. So that stability program means that in maybe conditions that aren't ideal for driving, such as slightly icy roads, or alternatively where the roads are damp, you have the reassurance of knowing that the car itself is going to help you to stay safe, to stay stable, and to go where you want to go. Cornering in the vehicle is particularly and surprisingly for me comfortable. In addition, when it comes to parking, I was very surprised, firstly, that it has a really small and tight turning circle. And because, as a small hatchback, you're in a situation where you can see the back two corners, it makes it much more secure for me to reverse. I think the overriding feeling that I got from it is of surprise. I was surprised that I had such headroom in it. I was surprised with the driving position. I had such good control over where it was I was going. I'm very easily to see all around me. It's very easy to drive out on the road, and also when I'm in tight situations, be it in a car park or in around town. So it's much more spacious than it initially felt. You have a huge amount of options with it. And again, things that I like particularly are cruise control, climate control. Climate control for me is something I would never go without again, because as far as I'm concerned, it makes your driving experience much more comfortable both winter and summer. Cruise control, of course, you know, you wonder, do you need it on a small car? I certainly would go for it, and the reason I would go for it is that all of us go on motorways nowadays, and we have a network of motorways there, and we want to be sure that we're not exceeding speed limits for our own safety and for the benefit of others. Similarly, we don't want to be getting any penalty points now, do we? So I suppose overall, one of the other experiences or parts of this vehicle that I really like is that you have an auxiliary jack for an MP3 player. So I like being in a situation, particularly on a long journey, where I can just plug it into the auxiliary jack and I can play my music when I want to. And I'm not messing around having to change CDs. So for me, that was a huge benefit. Finally, in terms of economics, this particular vehicle is €104 a year to road tax. And because you have the 3-year warranty, you have the reassurance of knowing that for at least 3 years or 100,000 kilometres, you can control your costs. So overall, I would have to say, to synopsize, I was surprised, very pleasantly so. And I think if you take a test drive in this vehicle, you will come out of it feeling that this is a well-built, well-finished, straightforward, but nonetheless excellent car. Thanks, and we'll see you again.